Comparison of inventory models. So in this course, we already learned about 3 types of inventory models, and I would like you to know which to use when. So first of all, the news vendor model applied to short life cycle products, seasonal products, for which we had one order opportunity and we had to order before we observed any demand, like seasonal products, right, that are ordered from a supplier with a long lead time. This is when we use the news vendor model. When we have long life cycle products, we use either EOQ ROP model or order up to model, and it all depends, right, on whether we have a continuous review system or periodic review system. So this model, it was the part of the topic in operations management course, topic 7. This model, of course, was covered in this topic. When we have continuous review system, inventory is monitored continuously, and we always order the same quantity, but at different times, and the time depends on the trigger. The trigger is the inventory position when inventory position is below ROP or equal to ROP value, reorder point value, right? Now, because we have assumed a certain average demand rate R, the average time between orders is actually determined by this order quantity, right? But the actual times between orders may vary, right? So quantity is fixed, but time between orders may vary if demand fluctuates, if demand varies. In the periodic review system, we inventory is checked only periodically. For example, once a day, once a week, once per 2 weeks, or something like this. And so order is requested once in every period, immediately after we check the inventory. For example, at the beginning of the period, at the beginning of the week, or at the beginning of the day, as we had in our examples. So here, time between orders is fixed, 1 week or 1 day or something, some other time period. However, if demand fluctuates, the order quantities vary. We say there is an average, right, order quantity, which is equal to average demand per period. But if demand fluctuates, the actual order quantities might be higher or lower than the expected demand per period. And there are many other inventory models. For example, a lot of ERP systems have min-max model implemented, which is another model which has different parameters than those models here, and it's also for long life cycle products where we want multiple replenishment opportunities. Now, which inventory model do we use for which products? It all depends on where the product is in its life cycle, right? So there are products that are seasonal, and for seasonal products that only sell in one season, the news vendor model is appropriate. Some products have very long life cycles, right? And they've been here for decades, and they are expected to continue being sold for more decades. The news vendor model might actually never be needed. The problem is with products that have intermediate life cycle, for example, 1 or 2 years, and a lot of the time, products, if there is a new version of the product, an upgrade, then the old variant is a product that is becoming, right, getting into a decline. In this case, the product can be, we have to be very careful how we manage them, because while we replenish them using one of the long life cycle models, order up to or EOQ plus ROP, we have to switch to the news vendor shortly before the product becomes obsolete. If we don't, then we might actually have a lot of leftover units, and when they become obsolete, those leftover units might not sell for a lot, right? And here is a table also comparing the two models from the perspective of inventory obsolescence. In the news vendor, after one period, the inventory is obsolete. In the other two models, the inventory is assumed never to be obsolete. So you have to be careful. If it can actually become obsolete, this model doesn't exactly apply. You have to use it knowing its limitations. Number of replenishments in the news vendor, we assumed 1. If we had reactive capacity, 2 or 3. could be some additional opportunities to order, and in the long life cycle product models, the number of replenishments is unlimited. There's always going to be next day or next week, next period when we will be able to replenish again, right? And then another difference is that whether demand occurs during replenishment in the news vendor, right? When we order and receive the units, there is no demand yet. In the long life cycle products models, the replenishment, during the time we wait for an order, demand occurs, right? So this is another difference between those models.